Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off talking about Nintendo Switch emulation with Ryujinx. Now, we talked about Ryujinx just the other day when Nintendo took them down. And then we talked about them again yesterday when there were a whole bunch of rumors swirling around online about the future of Ryujinx as well as the circumstances on which it was taken down. And now we're talking about them again. So this is in regards to their Patreon account. If you take a look, they're still making over $1,000 a month, and they still have over 8,000 members for this. Unfortunately, the Ryujinx team is not seeing a dime of this. So here's the message right from the Ryujinx team over on their Discord. As one final message, we ask all Patreon subscribers to cancel their subscriptions and everyone else not to donate since we do not have access to the Patreon account anymore, and the money is not going to any of us. So who knows where this money is going to? Is it going to GDK-chan or is it going to Nintendo? To be honest, I'm kind of surprised their Patreon is still up given the fact that they've taken Ryujinx down. I mean, this may have just been an oversight, but it's a very lucrative oversight if that's the case. So if you are a Patreon subscriber, you may want to pay attention to the Ryujinx team message. And speaking about Nintendo, next up here we're still talking about Nintendo, and it appears that Nintendo is taking a very vigilant approach about getting Switch videos off YouTube that they don't agree with. There was a video earlier on, a couple of years ago, from Linus Tech Tips titled "Take Down This Video, Nintendo, I Dare You." And it goes over Switch emulation on the Steam Deck. Now this video is still up. It talks about Switch emulation, and I've noticed here that they have blurred some images, and I don't think those images were blurred when this video was initially posted. Now I could be wrong here, and maybe this stuff was blurred from the get-go, but if my memory serves me correctly, and it always doesn't, I think this blur was added after the fact. Now recently we've seen Nintendo go against games for mods. For example, Gary's Mod, where they had Gary's Mod take down a bunch of Nintendo themed mods. And then we've seen them go against YouTube channels like Point Crow here and most recently the Retro Game Core. And it seems like Nintendo has their foot down to remove Switch emulation content off the internet. And that brings me to this email right here. Now this email was not sent to me from Nintendo, it was sent to another YouTuber from Nintendo, and that other YouTuber just decided to share it with me. I will say that this YouTuber asked to remain anonymous, and I'll also say that they are a very big YouTuber. And when I'm talking big, I'm talking real big. They've got a whole ton of subscribers, they've got a massive channel, and they make channels like Wolf Den and Retro Game Core and my channel look very small. So there's a couple of things about this email I want to point out. They say they represent Nintendo of America. They ask for expeditious removal of all video content that uses Nintendo Switch game emulators. They also ask you to not upload any content using Nintendo Switch game emulators. They say our internal team of specialists has detected the illegal use of unauthorized Nintendo Switch game emulators, namely Yuzu and Ryujinx, in many of your YouTube videos. So they're already calling out Ryujinx, and they're already saying that using Switch emulators is illegal, which I would disagree with. Now, some people may say that the return address here, mm-nintendo.com, is not Nintendo, but it turns out it might actually be. It might be one of the lawyer companies that Nintendo uses here. Anyways, this is, I think, the same mm-nintendo.com that reached out to Gary's Mod to remove a whole bunch of Nintendo-themed mods. Now remember, I am not a lawyer, and this is not legal advice, it's just my opinion, and I do think this is a real email. I think it was sent by someone acting on behalf of Nintendo. But I'm very confused about this whole situation. I mean, for the Retro Game Core, Nintendo had no problems issuing a copyright strike over 3 seconds of gameplay. There was no option to blur the content, there was no option to remove it, it was just a flat-out strike, and they did it twice. And for this, they sent an email and gave this creator time to remove those videos from their channel. And then for Yuzu, they issued a whole lawsuit to Yuzu for a whole lot of money, whereas Ryujinx, they reportedly visited GDK-chan at his house and, well, issued a C&D or something like that. So I'm very confused with all of this inconsistency and wondering if Nintendo thinks they have stronger cases in some areas and weaker cases in others. I don't know what's going on here. It seems very chaotic, but the one thing I am realizing is that Nintendo just seems to be targeting Nintendo Switch emulation and completely wants that off YouTube. Now, I'm not going to lie, I am very curious to see what happens on this one moving forward. I don't necessarily think that Nintendo is in the legal right to do what they're doing, but a lot of people seem to be complying because they don't want to go to court against Nintendo, and that is kind of understandable. but also kind of sets a precedent where Nintendo can seemingly threaten people and people will comply. It's not a really good situation to be in, and it's a very odd one. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens with other stuff moving forward. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments below. But moving on from that, and next up we're talking about Earth Defense Force 6 on Steam. And this game just got a brand new update that some people might be excited about. So Earth Defense Force 6 on PC was released on July 25th of this year. It's got a mostly positive review score, with all reviews being mixed. And if you take a look here, it says it requires third-party account, Epic Online Services. But that seems to be changing. So here's the new snippet from their latest update. This application has been modified so that you can play online missions without signing into your Epic Games account. Signing into your Epic Games account is no longer required. And if you wish to unlink your Steam account from your Epic Games account, please visit Epic Games' website in a web browser. I could be wrong, but based on the most recent review here, I think this may help their overall review score on Steam. Let me know if you've played Earth Defense Force 6 in the comments below. And speaking about playing games, next up here we're talking about a game it doesn't seem like a whole lot of people are playing, and that is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So this game just got a brand new update for Season 3. And taking a look at the Steam charts, and it seems like not a whole lot of people are enjoying it. So here's SteamDB, and if these numbers are accurate, at the time of filming, only 207 people are currently playing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And that is abysmally low for a game of this caliber. I mean, I think this is a AAA game, or a quadruple A game if I'm not mistaken. Next up here, if you're a content creator and you plan on posting some footage for Silent Hill 2, Konami has just posted their video and screenshot posting guidelines on their website. You may want to check this one out. Like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below. And interestingly enough, this game has already seemed to have leaked, which doesn't say anything about that in their guidelines. So Silent Hill 2 is set to be releasing on October 8th, which is just around the corner. And if you're trying to avoid spoilers of a game that has already released years ago, you may want to avoid watching YouTube and Twitch if they are streaming the new version of Silent Hill 2. I mean, if copies are leaking, people tend to stream these things way ahead of time. Next up here, we're talking about AI, and I'm not surprised about this one, but I am disappointed. AI-generated malware has been reported to be found in the wild. And in my opinion, this is the last thing we need. I mean, AI is being developed at an alarming rate. And if it's now developing malware, well, help us. In my opinion here, if this continues to develop and is not a one-off thing, it could pose a massive problem for companies and infrastructure, as well as antiviruses for anyone's computer. I mean, if the antivirus can't keep up with AI, well, then we got a problem. And if you integrate AI with the antivirus, but then it's battling AI, well, that's going to be a very interesting scenario. But hopefully for, in my opinion, everyone's sake, this is nothing and doesn't get too more advanced, and it's all just speculation about what could happen as opposed to realistically what could happen. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. And speaking about theory versus reality, next up here we're talking about Deadlock on the PS4. And yes, someone got it running on the PS4. In theory, that sounds great, but in reality, it's not that good at all, unless you like 360p graphics at 14 frames a second. I do recommend checking out that video. It's kind of crazy. I guess it's impressive that they got it running on a PS4, but at the same time here, it does not look very good. Next up, we're talking about Hotel Mario, the game that was originally released back in '94 on the Philips CDI. Anyways, here, if you're a fan of the game, or if you've never played it, someone is remaking the game and calling it Hotel Mario Rebooked. Now, Hotel Mario did release on the SNES, and I would argue it's not really a great game, but some people seem to really like it. Anyways, here, it's not complete just yet, but there is a teaser video of it up on Twitter, or X, and I'll drop a link to that in the description below. Unfortunately, I don't have a specific release date just yet, but they say it's releasing sometime in 2025. And last up here, we're talking about Avatar, The Last Airbender, and this is not those blue creatures that were in the movie Avatar. This is the Krillin-looking guy with the arrow on his forehead. Anyways, this game is getting a AAA RPG with Saber Interactive and Paramount Game Studios. At least that's what IGN is reporting. Now, unfortunately, I don't know a whole lot more about this one. I don't know the release date. I don't know if it's going to be free to play. I don't know if it's going to be a game as a service. I really don't know here. But I do know that, well, a lot of people are probably going to be excited about this one. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below, and as soon as I know more about it, you'll know more. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.